Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about how to make simple and effective monthly budgeting sheets on Google Sheets. Let's get started right away. This is an example of one of my monthly budgeting sheets. I will be showing you how to make one that looks like this. And the thing about this is that it isn't just about the look of the sheet or how nice or good it looks. It's the fact that we will be adding formulas to the cells to make everything easier and time-saving. What I mean is that all you would have to do is add what your income and expenses are, and the totals for each bank or category are calculated automatically. As you can see, we have income, expenses, business expenses, taxes, subscriptions, and the total profit for each bank and the total overall profit. We also have charts for each table as a visual to look at. Let's get this started and make this from scratch. First of all, we will name this sheet. Usually I would name it by month. But first we can make this as a template, then duplicate it and name each sheet by month. So we will just call it monthly sheets. Next, press Ctrl-A to select every single cell in this sheet and customize the font size, alignment, all that once so you do not have to do it for every cell. You can still edit certain cells where you want them to have a certain format. Next, we will start by laying out the sheet. First, a title. We will call it Overall Monthly Income and Expenses. Now under it, we will have the income table, and then the categories under our income source. Name, which is the name of the income. Total income is the total income amount for that source. And then bank account, for which bank account it will be deposited into. You may not really need the last one if you only have one card or bank account, and you can always modify your sheet to your liking. Next, we have expenses. The date it was purchased, name of the purchase, the total expenses amount, and bank account that was used to purchase. And the name of the table is expenses, which I forgot to add in the beginning. The next one is business expenses. This is where you can add any things that you purchase for your business like software or tools. Under business expenses, we will have the same subcategories as for the expenses. Then we have taxes. Now taxes may be different for everyone. Some may want to calculate the taxes on items purchased. I am using the taxes table to track how much taxes are deducted from each income source. So I will have tax source, name, total taxes, and bank account from where taxes were deducted, which match the ones where you receive your income. Now we can add colors to the cells to make it look nicer and clearer to read. I chose to do shades of blue for the whole sheet again, but you can always mix colors and do different colors. Now let's add the income and expenses source numbers. I usually do that to keep track of how many income and expenses sources are there. We will add 0 as the dollar amount there and make it a currency range. So when you add the money, it automatically shows with a dollar sign beside it rather than just numbers. Do it for all 4 tables. Next is where we will start using formulas to make calculation processes automatic and less work for us. So we will write total under income sources column. Then beside it, let's say you have 3 bank accounts where you spend and deposit your money. So we will call them bank 1, 2, and 3. Then you want to know how much income is going into each of them and the total amount overall. In the cell where you want to know the total income received in bank 1, type in =, sum if, D4 D23, bank 1 in quotations, then C4 C23. This means Google Sheets will add all the money in between the C4 to C23 range if it says bank 1 in the range D4 to D23. Now copy-paste this formula for bank 2 and 3 and just change the name. Make sure to not leave space before or after the bank names when you type the bank names in column D, because Google Sheets will not consider it the same as without the spaces after. Now copy-paste this block for the other 3 tables. Make sure you edit the formulas after you copy-paste them because they will not always represent the correct range or column. And to find total income, select the range of C4 to C23 and click on the sum function, which will display the sum in cell C24. Now we will do subscriptions. We will write the table title, which is subscriptions. Then under it, the categories will be the subscription, then the name of the subscription, the bank account used to pay for it, the subscription plan, whether it's monthly, annually, weekly, the subscription start date, which is the very first time you have subscribed to this service, and the total subscription cost. Now we will add the source numbers under subscription. I will just copy-paste the ones written under the income table and do the same for the total subscription cost. Now we will add the total for each bank and the total subscription costs across all bank accounts. Obviously, we have to change the formula, so the bank account names are in column C. The range is C30 to C49, and the cost is in the range F30 to F49. Put this formula for each bank account. Then do the total subscription cost using the sum function. Now that we have the income, expenses, business expenses, taxes, and subscriptions, we can make a summary for each bank account and overall across all of them to see the profits. So type in month, which can be replaced with the month name obviously, then bank 1 overall total. Then under it, type income, expenses, business expenses, taxes, and subscriptions, then add zeros as placeholders for the amounts. Then for income, we will put equal sign is equal to cell D24, which is the total income for bank 1. Then for expenses, we will type equal to cell J24, which is the total expenses for bank 1. Then equal sign P24 for business expenses, and then equal sign U24 for taxes, and equal sign F50 for subscriptions. Then merge the cells under the amounts, which will make one cell to display profits. To get net profit for bank 1, we will have income minus all the expenses and taxes, so we will type an equal sign then brackets H30 minus brackets I30 plus J30 plus K30 plus L30 brackets, which will give the net profits for bank 1. Now copy-paste this and do it for all the bank accounts. Make sure to modify the formulas after copy-pasting because they are not always right. Now that our sheet is complete, let's see how our data looks when we put the information in. We will also make visual graphs to see how income, expenses, and taxes are divided. We will add random income sources and income for each, and add the bank accounts for where the income will be deposited. And if you scroll down, then you can see how it automatically shows you the total income for each bank account and across all of them. Now add some random expenses, business expenses, taxes, and subscriptions to see how our formulas are doing. Mix up the numbers a little bit and make sure to add a different bank account for each. So now we filled out a few random income and expenses in each table as examples. We also have to fix the sum function for cell E50 as the formula calculated the wrong range. It is supposed to be F30 to F49, not E30 to E49. This is why it's important to check the formulas after you copy-paste them. We also forgot to add the net profit table for all bank accounts. So let's do it right now. Copy-paste the table and edit the title. Then for income, enter equal sign C24, for expenses I24, for business expenses O24, for taxes T24, and for subscriptions E50. Then the net profit equation is correct, so leave it as it is. Now our monthly income and expenses sheet is done and the formulas are complete, but our last step is adding graphs. We will add different types of graphs and show how to edit them as graphs are very good visuals. So let's do a simple income graph that shows the relation between the income source and income amount. Select the income source names and the income amount beside them. Then go to the Insert tab and Insert Chart. You will get the default column blue chart. Let's say I want to display the income sources and amounts using a pie charts. Click on Chart Type and choose Pie Chart. You can go to Customization and change the color of the slices. You can change the color, font, and size font of the text. I will be adding a chart title too. We will just call it Income Chart. Next, we will make a graph for the expenses. Select the expenses categories and total expenses and insert a chart again. I will use a typical column bar chart for the expenses. You can change the color of the bars and even add adjustable borders. I will also change the text font for all the text in the graph and name this graph Expenses Chart. Next, we will do a Taxes chart. Select the tax source names and the tax amount, then insert the chart. We will do a smooth line graph for taxes, just to show the different types of graphs that can be used to display data. As usual, we will change the chart title to Taxes Chart, and then edit and customize simple things such as the font and colors of the graph. You can always edit the information or the range on the x-axis and y-axis, but they are made based on the data you select. Now we will do a graph for the business expenses. Select the business expenses categories and the cost amount and insert chart. We will change the chart type to a scatter plot chart. We will add the chart title Business Expenses Chart, and then edit the fonts and colors of the graph. I will also change the circle dots to stars and add a trend line as well as labels. I am just going to adjust the color and border of the expenses chart to make it look a little nicer. Next, we will do a subscription chart. So for this chart, the subscription name and cost aren't beside each other. So start by just selecting the subscription names and inserting a chart. It will automatically give you a count of name pie chart because there is only one type of data selected. To add the total subscription cost, scroll down to Value and add the range of the total subscription cost, which is F30 to F32. Next, we will change the chart type to Combo Chart. Now we will change the fonts and colors of the graph and call the graph subscription chart. We will also change the range of the y-axis to $125. You can also reverse orders of the categories on the x-axis. Now, obviously, the graph is not done as the correct information is not on the right axis. So under x-axis in Setup, select B30 to B32 as the range because that is where the categories are. Then under Series, change the Choose the F30 to F32 range. Then change the function from Count to Sum. And then here is the correct graph. The last graph we will be doing is the net profit across all bank accounts. So select the income, expenses, business expenses, taxes, subscriptions, and the amounts under them, and click Insert Chart. This time you will get a recommend chart that shows all the expenses, business expenses, taxes, and subscription amounts, and then under it is the income where the expenses amounts are being subtracted from. You can also try using other graphs and seeing which represents the data the best way. This is a good graph because you can easily find out the net profits by looking at the income value and subtracting it from each category. Now all we have to do is do simple customizations like editing the fonts and colors of the graphs. We will call the graph total income. And there you have it. Now you have a full monthly budget sheet that you can use every month to track and visualize your income, expenses, business expenses, taxes, and subscriptions. Feel free to modify and create your monthly sheet to fit your liking. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.